everybody. We are back. You know my first guest tonight as Rachel on the hit show Friends. And this weekend, you can see her hosting Saturday Night Live with musical guest Sting. Please welcome Jennifer Aniston. How are you?
Sit back in chair.
Sit back in chair. That's a sign we have.
Sit back in chair.
Yeah, that's a little sign.
This huge thing on your.
What thing?
That's the.
Oh, the microphone pack. I thought you had like a goiter.
Well, I'm saying it's the microphone pack.
That'll be in the tabloids now.
I know, just wait.
Jennifer Aniston has goiter. You know what? I did actually bring up a point right away, which is you've obviously had phenomenal success. You're extremely popular, but there's this downside to it. Every time I'm checking out, you know, in a 7-Eleven or something, I see the tabloids. I think 80% of the time now they're writing about you. Is that get to be like a pain in the neck at a certain point, or do you have a sense of humor about it?
No. Well, at first I had no sense of humor about it. Nothing was funny at all. But now you have to. I mean, there's no way around it. There's not one word of it that's ever true.
Except that one. Well, they follow you on vacation, don't they?
Yeah, and that's the worst part, especially when you're out on vacation. And there was one time we were, I was in flip-flops, rubber flip-flops, and it started raining, and of course there's photographers, so you try to run as...
You run from them.
I was running from them at that point. Well, no, I was actually running because it started raining, and you just did the whole thing.
Sure.
And, of course you're on ancient marble, and it's flip-flops, and it's raining, and I fell right on my ass. And that was fun, and that's, all you think is, oh my God, that's just the last thing you need.
Yeah.
And then I ran as quickly as I could, took my shoes off, and I go into the Holy Cathedral in my bare feet, and I'm sorry.
You hid in a church because paparazzi can't follow you into a church.
No, I was going into it anyway. Yeah.
They're like vampires.
They're not allowed. Yeah.
He'll be back, Aniston. Also, they probably, when you fall, they get a picture of that and then say, Aniston, drunk.
Yeah, wasted. She's drunk again.
On her ass drunk, yeah.
But somehow that didn't end up anywhere, lucky for me. Oh, it will now.
Have you ever seen one where you thought, like, well, that's just funny. It's so ridiculous. Like, you're just like, oh, it makes you laugh. Like, it's humorous to you.
Well, I think by now I'm married, I have children, and, I've had the Greek-Tibetan wedding. I mean, all these...
How do they make up something like that? Like you had a Greek-Tibetan... Like, that's not just lying, like you secretly got married. They're coming up with specific weird lies.
Yeah, no, they're very detailed. There's some little guy or chick sitting in that room who just has nothing better to do than make, somebody try to find a good story. I
don't know. I envy you in a way because I've only had 2 tabloid stories written about me in the whole time I've been on the air.
Courtney.
That's 3. That was the only good one. They linked me romantically to Courtney Cox, and I got to admit, I phoned that one in. She's in love with him. Who is this? Conan? That was crazy. I'm sure that thrilled her. But anyway.
Oh no, it's funny.
But no, the 2 that I'm talking about, like that one was just crazy. And then the 2 ones, the main ones that I've it's been in the tabloids and I clipped them out. And I've talked about this before. One was he has high cholesterol. And they had a picture of me looking sad. And then the other one was he doesn't wash his hands after he uses the bathroom.
Like, what was that picture? What did that look like?
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Those are pathetic stories. I wish they were chasing me around some paradise. Talk to them, will you? Have them come up with something better. I was surprised to find something out, which today the producer who was talking to you said that you told him that you went to the doctor, and you went to the eye doctor. Oh. What? You don't want to talk about this?
No, it's just silly.
Well, that's why that's cross-eyed. You're on this show. The doctor told you you're cross-eyed?
Well, in a subtle, yes. And basically, you go. I'd always gotten my glasses done, lens crafter, and you go in the back, and they go, and there's your prescription, They
go like that to you? That is not a doctor. No. He's tricking you.
Well, now I know that.
Right.
No, so I went to a real eye doctor and got the full checkup, and you fill out this form basically asking you all of these questions that you start to go, huh, So my childhood was tortured because of something other than I was just an inadequate kid. Like, you know, can you throw a ball? Do you have trouble catching a ball? Can you read? Do you switch words? And I'm thinking, yes, these are all the things that, you know, nobody picked me on their teams because I was just a crappy athlete. And,
right.
And it was all because she said, well, you have conjunctive excess or something. And I said, what does that mean? She said, well, it means you're cross-eyed.
But I'm looking at you, you're not cross-eyed. I always think cross-eyed's like, I love you, please.
It's a little muscle thing.
I mean, you don't look anything like this at all.
No, it's when I do that.
That, actually, yeah. That was evil and cross-eyed, what you just did, yeah.
And my mother used to always say to me when I was a kid, you keep doing that, it'll stay that way. And sure enough.
My mom would tell me that I was always making faces as a kid, like I don't now. But she would say it's going to freeze and you'll be trapped that way. And I thought, cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I wish I had a cool looking face like that. You know, you're now, there's so many young people now that probably have posters of you and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just because you're a big star now, there's so many kids that would think of you as, you know, whatever, their idol or something. When you were a kid, when you were young, who'd you have a crush on? Who was your idol on TV?
I loved Sean Cassidy. I loved Scott Baio.
Scott Baio. How into Scott Baio were you?
Oh, I was going to marry Scott Baio. My father whipped around in the car one day and went, "You are not going to marry Scott Baio. Stop that."
My father said the same thing to me.
Did he really?
Yeah. I was an odd kid, yeah. But you had the posters.
I had posters. I listened. Joni Loves Chachi. You know, I didn't have a VCR, so I'd take our tape recorder and put it next to the TV and record the shows, and then I'd play them at night.
You just listened to the
child.
You had listened to the audio of Joni Loves Chachi? Wow. I feel so bad.
Yeah, that's all right. I've gotten over it.
Did you? Does he know this? I mean, you're Jennifer Aniston now. You could meet him. Were you any interest in that at all? In meeting him? He's not backstage or anything.
No, you're right. Can you imagine?
Everyone here is like, they're gonna bring him out. Here he is. No, we're not. No.
No, I mean, I've actually met him once. I was over the crush though, so you know.
I was gonna say, you're like,
yeah.
What is it you watch on TV now? Like, what's the show that you just is like your guilty pleasure?
Oh, my guilty. I have those late night things, you know, like well, The Real World.
When you said late night, I got all excited for a second.
No, I know, but then I was just thinking because last night I was watching this.
Forget it. This interview's over. You so suck me in. You were like those late night things, you know, The Real World. What's that?
Oh, that's your little icy.
What's that? That's what tells me where you're going.
Tells you what to talk to me about. Okay.
What did you think this was?
No,
information about me. I get depressed and I'm an Aries.
I'm just curious how
I'm 6'4". I like volleyball, and that gives me a few notes in there.
I segues go. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you just exposed the sham that these talk shows really are.
No, Real World. Come on, Real World.
Tell me, was The Real World one of the shows that you enjoyed as a child? No.
Yeah.
You watched that show? I would.
No, because last night, I was watching this thing on poker, you know, professional poker players.
Right.
I don't know if anybody saw that. Anyone? But it was fascinating. It was actually fascinating.
You got your finger on the pulse of America.
I do, really.
Didn't you all see that in the crowd? No. I've never heard a whole crowd go, no.
I love poker. I love to play poker more than anything. You know, and it was just to see these guys. These are professional poker players, and their dream is to be in the Olympic poker championships, and it's just a whole other world that I, didn't even know.
It's in the Olympics, poker?
That's what this guy was saying. I want to be in the Olympic poker championship. And I think you're a little delusional. I don't know if that thing actually exists.
Right. They have to combine it with some kind of athletic thing, like run 30 yards with a baton, stop, play some poker, fire a rifle.
No, but you were a fan of The Real World, someone was saying.
We gotta go. No, I was. Real World San Francisco.
Ruthie, when she lost all of it and she got kicked out.
Let's talk about this later on our Pink Princess phones. We'll see that I have widen out. See, I have a Scott Baio picture behind me. Or is it bio? Well, Friends, like I have to mention this, I always feel so. Friends, by the way, is Thursdays at 8 on NBC, if you want to know where that is. And this is exciting, hosting Saturday Night Live this weekend.
Oh, I know.
Is this your first time?
Yeah.
Oh, this will be cool. And musical guest Sting. So That's a great show.
Very
hey, thanks
cool.
for making time for us. I know you're busy with all that stuff.
Easy.
But Jennifer, thank you very much. Jennifer Aniston, everybody. Tim Burton is coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.